The Cry Freedom Show with Lisa.com. Cry Freedom Soundbite, Tuesday the 15th of June 2021. Well, I was going to record this outside in the park, but the phone that I had with me has got zilch memory on it, so I couldn't, unfortunately. So I'll have to rectify that soon, but for now, I had to come back to do this, and I'm quite annoyed actually, which is why I'm doing this now. I'm having a bit of a rant now. We've had a weekend just past of extreme and complete and utter, be it played out or not, hypocrisy. And maybe it's being played out for the masses to say okay, but it's been a bit in our faces, hasn't it, with the so-called G7. G is the seventh letter of the alphabet, 7-7. That's just coincidence. The G7 people, I'm going to call them that out of politeness, meeting there in good old little blighty Cornwall. Massive size of a ley line, by the way, and that's a whole different issue. Don't even get me started on that one, but that's for another time. So we've just had all of that, watching them doing their photo shoot, public photo shoot for the newspapers, with them all sitting about 10 feet away from each other. And the next minute they're all patting each other on the back without masks, without social distancing. And we know that's all bullshit anyway, but they're obviously not following it because they know it's all bullshit. Then they're on the beach having a barbecue, and they're all just together there enjoying themselves and not giving a second thought for any kind of variant of any description because, well, let's face it, they're alphas, aren't they? We're just the deltas. And I've mentioned this in my blog today, or yesterday, because someone said to me, a friend said to me that Brave New World is all about the 5 different levels of society. And there are the top 2 levels, which are the alphas and the betas. And beneath those, the ones deemed as their slaves and low-life beings, are the gammas, the deltas, and the epsilons. Okay? Now, I've not read the book, so I probably should have done, but pretty much is saying what is happening now with regards to what's always happened, but it's becoming more apparent and more obvious now. This has always gone on, by the way, guys. This has been happening to us for centuries. We have been the slaves for a long, long time. It's just that most people don't see it because it's done to such a way that the illusion is created in such a way that you believe you're free. But you never have been. And so that's why, in some ways, this whole last year of pandemic in many ways has been to open people's eyes and to finally get them to see, and that's what I'm believing. And a lot of people think it's doom and gloom in the end, and that's it, we're all fucked. Bill Gates and Fauci and co have made sure that half the population at least is now poison darted with something that's going to be so bad. And you can live in that circle of belief and believe that that's it now, it's over. But I don't. I believe, I'm sorry, I'm talking fast because I'm a bit wound up, as you can tell. I believe that we've got a lot of hope ahead, and this is being done now to show these very things and finally get the sleepers to open their eyes and look and see and get it. And what I'm about to tell you is more proof of the hypocrisy in this whole system. Do as I say, not as I do strategy. Because I've just been sitting in the park, my local park, and there's one particular piece of it, a small piece, which is like a little bit of a meadow, and the grass was a little bit longer. It wasn't over the top, it was just marginally longer than the crop down to nothing status, and all this clover's grown on there, and it's absolutely covered in bees. There are bees everywhere in this little patch of land, and I go and sit there and sit in the sun and just watch them. And I got there today because it's been a nice day, and there's all this noise in the background, isn't there, because the council, the government paid up council guys, and one was actually a woman, which made me even more angry in some ways, are there on their sit-on mowers, mowing up all the grass. Now, I get that has to be done in some areas. I'm not an idiot, I do get that. But this little meadow where no one goes, there's hardly anyone uses it, apart from me and a couple of others with their dogs. It doesn't need to be mowed, quite frankly. And it's an absolute bonanza of bees. And what are we getting told by the government at every step of the way? For their own agenda. This is the point. It's not for us. They don't give a shit about the planet. They don't give a shit about the environment. This is all to do with control and making money. Okay? At least not now. If it's not now, there has been changed, and it certainly was in the past, most certainly. So, what do they tell us? They tell us that the bees are dying. They tell us that we have to do things to attract the bees and to try to increase the number of bees on the planet so that we can have a better chance of a future, right? So I'm sitting there in this little patch of land with no one there, covered in clover, and there are bees everywhere, everywhere. And I thought, these buggers on these bloody tractors are going to come up and expect to mow this in a minute. And so I purposely sat there, I didn't move, because I thought, if I sit here, it might deter them from doing it. And they're just so Philistined and brainwashed and non-thinking. And I tell you what, they didn't even look up. Don't even look up. They just ride around on these things without even looking up for a second. And I thought, if I'm sitting here, they'll at least come up and one of them will say something like, oh, sorry, look, we've got to mow here now. Do you mind moving? Not even that. They just come up and start mowing right in front of your face. It's like, oh, we care so much about you sitting here on a lovely summer's day, trying to get a bit of peace and quiet. We care so much that we're going to make you move. They should be doing the mowing in the bloody summer on the gorgeous days. They should be doing it later, at night or something, or on the dull days when there's not as many people out. Why do it on the days when people are sitting there trying to get some energy back and trying to enjoy nature? You know, that's in itself says it all. They don't give a toss. And this is the council with the telephone number of 666, by the way. Just coincidence, of course. So the next minute, they come on this field, and that's it. That's it. Bye-bye bees, bye-bye clover. Whole lot packed up to nothing. So what was an essential, wonderful, beautiful space for bees with regards to so-called climate change, which we know is a load of bollocks anyway, lots of us. It's all crap just to get more money off you and control you. This is proof in itself, is it not? Because if these people were really worried and gave a toss about the environment, wouldn't they be thinking about these things? And not employing these brainless idiots who've probably been vaccinated to just sit on these ride-on, exhaust-spilling machines and kill all this beautiful life? And yeah, I got annoyed. I really got annoyed, and I just stood there and gave them dirty looks for about 5 minutes because I just thought, are you for real? Do you actually realise what you're doing? No, you don't, because you don't think. You probably just think I'm some sad person that doesn't want to move. I'm just a delta living in a downtown region who doesn't give a shit. Well, you picked on the wrong person, guys, because I'm not one to stay quiet about these things, and these things have to be shown to people, for people that don't see it to see it. That these people in so-called positions of power that are telling us it's all about climate change are speaking through their arses, quite frankly. They don't give a toss, and that is proof enough. So, rant over. I'm sorry, but sometimes you have to get angry. It's, as Charlie Freak would call it, righteous anger. Thanks, Charlie. And Charlie Freak, check him out, guys. Doing a great job. YouTube, the Shire Animal Sanctuary. Fantastic. This is our way forward, and I totally believe in that. And I shall be promoting Charlie and the wonderful family he's gathered around him. Charlie and Colleen, out in Mexico. So, there you go. I'll shut up now. Rant over.